find yourself venturing into a world that is unfamiliar to you in every single way. All you have to your name is your wits and a broken phone that has no internet. But wait, you have the MidFall Podcast in your hands. Here you can listen to the tales of your three hosts, Luis, Josh, and Jared, as they venture through their own creative woes and whatnots. Get ready to be entertained through your wildest dreams as you conquer and face this new threatening world.
Hello everybody, welcome to episode 17 of the MidFall Podcast. I am your host, Lewy, or Luis, MidFall99, whatever. And I'm joined by the boys, J-Rod and Yosh.
Hello. Up?
Yes,
we're back.
Boys. Yeah, we're back again. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the MidFall Brain Blast episode. That was the last episode, correct? Or was it J-Rod's episode?
It'll be J-Rod's.
J-Rod's episode. It was the D&D episode, and we always have a lot of fun with those. We went over to Texas Roadhouse when we did not have... Well, we didn't look at our bank account, essentially, before. No, we did. But we just said, we got a little greedy, essentially.
Yeah.
So you guys can go ahead and check out that one.
Dude, after that episode, I left that episode damn. That was fun, but damn. I don't want to spoil it for people listening, but damn.
Yeah, we get fucked all the time.
So Jared takes pride in fucking his own
with a vengeance.
So, great job, Jared, and go ahead and check it out if you haven't already. D&D episode. We'll try to insert a card in this video to go ahead and link you to it. And the other announcement that we got is got a new song out there, No Light Follows, single that I put out there because I don't know when I'm going to put out the next EP, to be honest. It's going to be soon, and it is pretty much finished, but there are some details that I want to work out. But, pretty much that's that. I just haven't been feeling so motivated with music because I've been so busy in my real life, but it'll come out because I still love making music and I still want to get it out as consistently as possible. So I got 2 EPs essentially to make up for, but those will be releasing soon.
Hell yeah, Mr. Music Man.
What's up?
I said hell yeah, Mr. Music Man.
Thank you. So any other announcements that you boys have?
Yes. I need to apologize yet again to the viewers for not releasing Trending Arc video 2. It's completely my fault. There's really no excuse other than I was running out of time in Brazil. I'm back in the US now, and I chose to prioritize the time in there, but I should have been still working on it, so that's my fault, and I apologize.
Nah, that's dope. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, man.
Building the anticipation
Thank you.
even more, if not that.
Yes. It'll be a year before it comes out, at this rate.
Alrighty. Jarud, anything else?
Not much from over here. I hope you guys enjoyed the previous episode that we worked on. It was a lot of fun to come up with the scenario for these guys to fully enjoy. Apologies for the episodes not coming out normally at our regular schedule because we're going for a lot more ambitious types of videos. They are taking a bit longer to make. I'm still aiming for that typical Tuesday 8 a.m. drops, but be prepared for videos coming out maybe a day later or so, but we'll let you know.
Thank you for your patience.
Jared's quality has been making us get better too, so it's insane how much effort and work Jared's been putting into the stuff that we want to do the same.
Exactly, that's what I was telling him before. I was like, sorry that we're starting a little bit late because I wanted to go ahead and so I hope that everything works out for my episode today because I got something set up for you guys. I told you guys the theme for today was going to be horror, and once again, thank you, Jared, for the effort. do put into the editing and all that stuff. Hopefully everybody enjoys the YouTube shorts and all that stuff. So yeah, the theme for today is going to be horror, because I really like listening to the horror podcasts and stuff like that. So while the theme was horror, I was looking around being like, hey, what do I share with these guys for today's episode when I want it to be horror? So I was looking around, and I came across this eBay link, and it was for a tape. So I ordered this cassette tape, where it just has scary stories. Now, it's essentially just somebody recorded their scary stories, it said, and it says that it's very chilling. So, yeah, that's what I got for you guys today. I ordered the tape, it just came in for this episode specifically. Are you guys ready? Go ahead and listen to it.
I'm already scared.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Alright.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Cool.
With the H.
So,
What the hell?
alright, cool. So since you guys said that you guys were ready, follow me right this way. I'm taking you guys to my SpongeBob library. So follow me. Alright, cool. So I never told you guys about this place because I kind of wanted to just keep it private, and I was, under remodel. So go ahead and take a seat. And I'm going to go ahead and walk over and insert this freaking tape so we can listen to it. Okay, now let me go ahead and start walking over and get settled into my spot. God damn, this shit sounds spooky as fuck already. Okay, I never really post anything on Reddit. Mostly just reading, so please excuse me if I do or say anything that isn't common courtesy here. In around 2018-2019, I, 25 female at the time, 18-19, was living in Nebraska, where I grew up. I lived in the largest city in NE, but it was essentially surrounded by corn and wheat fields. The city was expanding, so rich folks started building huge houses with giant properties on the edge of town as things proceeded to grow. All of that being said, I had a good friend whose parents' house was one of those big ones right on the blurring line between the fields and the city. My friends and I were constantly hanging out at his place because it was fun. They had tons of property to ride 4x4s on, a hot tub, a huge living room for us to watch sports, and have reality TV binges. Plus, his parents were super cool, and we could drink as long as we stayed inside. It was tons of fun, even though I was and am scared of the dark. So I wouldn't go outside after a certain time because there was little lighting and the nearest neighbor was a mile away. I always felt a weird energy driving to and from his place if it was late at night, but it never had anything happen until one night. The drive out there was a long, winding, two-way road that had thick trees on both sides, and you pass one of the city's largest cemeteries on the way. Barely any lighting, of course, besides the street lamps every once in a while, and very little traffic. It's all inherently a bit creepy, and I'll admit to have sped through this section of road many times to get through it as quickly as possible. This specific night was perfect spring weather, so I was driving with my windows down listening to music, and it was around 10 p.m. I was coming around one of the curves on the road when I had to essentially slam my brakes. Right in front of me, in the middle of the road, maybe 50 yards away, was what looked like a family. Again, picture a completely pitch black road with a thick forest on both sides, and only my headlights to show what's in front of me. This was a family of 3 or 4, a tall, slim woman, an average height man, a child, short hair, but couldn't tell the gender based on the clothing and couldn't see their face, maybe around 8 years old, and the mother was carrying a frickin' stroller. Their clothes looked normal, not tattered, but not nice.
Oh my God.
They were also not carrying any source of light, meaning before I arrived behind them in my car, they had been walking in the pitch black. They were all facing away from me, walking completely silent in the middle of the street, the same direction I was heading. I had turned my music down to hear if they were speaking, had music playing, etc. They didn't. The hairs on my arms immediately stood up. I had to stop in the middle of the road behind them, obviously, and just sat there for a moment and let them move. They seemed to be completely unaffected by me and didn't even turn their heads slightly, nor did they attempt to move out of the way. I literally thought I was going insane, or that I was dreaming. It was so surreal. Before I had really had time to fully process and register what I was seeing and how truly strange it was, they all, at the same time, stopped walking and very slowly turned to face my car. This absolutely scared the heck out of me. I honestly didn't even give myself enough time to look at their faces, and as they turned, I immediately threw my car in reverse and sent it backwards for probably a full 20 seconds before flipping a U-turn, nearly running myself off the road and booking it in the other direction. The only other thing I remember noticing is that the stroller looked completely empty. This is the part that sticks in my mind the most. I've never felt terror like that before in my life. I checked my rearview mirror for probably 1,000 times before getting to a main road and never saw a glimpse of them. In fact, I never saw a glimpse of them ever again. I tried asking my friend and his family about it, only to essentially feel like I was insane because of the way they looked at me. Every time I tell this story, I get 3 reactions.
Oh my god.
They immediately think I'm friggin' cuckoo, that I think I'm lying, or have had something sort of similar happen to them. I really don't care if no one believes me, honestly. It still is, the creepiest thing to ever happen to me. I think about them all the time. It was either a weird ass family trying to scare the shit out of someone, a distraction, or an attempted robbery, an assault, or something like that. Or it was something more sinister. I'm hoping to tell myself for probably the rest of my life it was the first option.
Bro.
I'm gonna go ahead and pause it for a second so that way, dang, we could listen to each story and give our thoughts. Because goddamn.
Yeah. This one, it felt a little real. Like, you know how you can hear a story, whether it be on Reddit or whether it be on like a book or whether it be from a friend, and you're like, all right, this didn't really happen. But with this one, it's like ever so slightly based in reality in a way where you just feel like you can envision everything they're saying. That's scary.
So it's from r/True Scary Stories. It sounds like the author, it says it was written from practical_sync 1484 on a little piece of tape that it had on it somehow on the tape. But yeah, says it's supposedly real. So this one I could see not necessarily happening, I guess. I mean, obviously it's wild, right? But it's within my wildest nightmares. Have you guys ever had any experiences where you guys have been in a really secluded area and it felt off and you guys noticed something like clearly off about it?
Yeah. I think it was maybe it was like a couple of years ago or something like that. Just going into like a certain neighborhood at the time when I was driving, and it was like pitch black at night. And whenever there's like no street lights or anything, it always has that kind of like ominous feeling to it, like something is just about to like pop up out of nowhere. So yeah, honestly, listening to this, I was like, ooh, it's time to skedaddle, time to get the hell out of there.
Luckily I haven't had to experience with anything like that. Like I've told you guys about having seen like the movie Insidious, and after seeing the movie, that one scary guy, I just always picture him in my room for a while, like a good half a year or so. But that's different. But I will say, my dad told me the story a lot growing up, And, you know, growing up, everyone, you know, isn't who they are when they are a full-grown adult. When you're a teenager, you're a completely different person for the most part. Like, there's growing pains, there's things you do, there's mistakes, all that stuff. I'm not going to say too much in terms of the details, but it's family. But basically, him and my uncle were at the house, and it was a time period in which they weren't religious, and they were kind of just like, you know, living life and stuff and making decisions that they wanted to make. And my dad, and I think my uncle also said this, both claimed that they saw like an actual demon or something in the room because of, you know, poor life choices. So that sort of, if you're religious, that sort of stuff kind of follows you in a sense, where if you're making decisions that go against what you are being taught and stuff, don't be surprised if things like that happen. But they weren't religious, and so that really made them go towards religion because of what they say they saw. So yeah.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel like I have, but I just can't really remember this moment. But there have been very unsettling feelings that I've had. Again, not that I can really recall. Oh, actually, no, I do recall. And I think I might have told this here. But my cousin and I, so it was, I believe, around 8th grade or so, and my family had been visiting, and it was 2 sets of families that had been visiting, and we had gone over to LA to go to Anaheim, which is where Disneyland is. And so we were staying at a hotel. It was a big hotel, and my cousin and I, in the middle of the night, decided to go. There were 2 sets of us, like in different floors, and we decided to go hang out with our other cousins. And my cousin and I were on one of the top floors, and our cousins were below us, and by like just a couple of floors. And as my cousin and I just walked to the elevator, we, for some reason, just started getting very tense, like waiting for the elevator, which was only like a couple seconds, but it felt very prolonged for some reason. And it was odd that we both felt it, because I was like, dang, it's kind of spooky, just like this lonely like hallway in this hotel as we're waiting for this elevator. And we, for some reason, there was just this imminent thing of there's a presence coming around the corner that for some reason we both felt, because we were both kind of like looking back at each other, looking at the elevator and looking at the corner like, oh, we don't like what we're feeling right now, like this needs to hurry up for some reason. And we just got into the elevator and just closed the doors as quickly as possible and just, you know, met up with our cousins. But that's the one thing that comes to my memory right now. I don't know why we felt that sort of like we gotta leave, but we did for some reason. And yeah. Sheesh.
Yeah, it's kind of like it triggers that response in your body, like the flight or fright. Is that what it's called? Fight or flight. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so
we gotta name a song like that.
Fight
or fright.
Yeah. So for you guys, it triggered flight. You just immediately felt the need to leave the situation.
Yeah, exactly. I guess so. Alrighty, so that was that one. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the next one. I'm gonna go ahead and press play again.
Are these cassettes all one cassette, or is it multiple cassettes you bought?
It's just one, but it had on the box, it had a thing that it's just 3 tails, and it might be haunted, it might not be. I mean, clearly by the looks of it, it's kind of been through some shit. Right?
Okay, is that why you have like the cross above the door?
Yeah, no, that's why I mean, it left an imprint on the Bible that I had kept it on.
Oh my god. Hey Jared, do you have that hand sanitizer still?
Oh yeah, here you go.
Yeah. Thanks. No, I really hope that the red writing that was on it was just red Sharpie.
Oh yeah.
So
maybe it's like raspberry.
Yeah, that's just all that I know.
Was the cassette sealed in wax, like with a wax seal when you got it, or was it just, wrapped in plastic or something?
It was just wrapped in plastic. It was just heavily saran wrapped.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
It's
I
double
really
proof.
not wanted that to break.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. It was just heavily saran wrapped, and for some reason the listing was all in capital letters. It said get rid of it, like take it off my hands now. And so I was like, oh, okay.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow. How much were they selling it for?
$9.99.
$9.99.
Yeah. They said that they were free shipping.
Jeez. God damn. They want to get rid of it so bad, and they're like, you know what, let's upcharge real quick.
Exactly.
Nine
They're trying to make
$9.99.
profit.
They said that it would do really good for a horror podcast, and I was like, shit, right on time. So that's pretty much it. And a shout out.
Oh yeah, we definitely need that shout out.
Yeah. But now that you say that it was, you know, a bit of an upcharge, I think that it's enough that we're playing it. So, you know.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead
We all
and
get to
press
experience
play once more. The music in the background sounds creepy as fuck.
I'm 16 and I work at the local grocery store. I've had this job for about a year now. Since I'm still in high school, I don't work during the day. I usually get scheduled for 3 weekday shifts, mostly closing from 6 to 10. This past Wednesday seemed like a normal night. It was around 9, maybe 9:30, and I was waiting for my shift to end. I was up near the front of the store, restocking cans, when I noticed a man walk in. I'm not great at guessing ages, but he looked like he was around 40. He was an average height, maybe 5'10", and had this really pale skin, like he hadn't been outside in a really long time. His clothes didn't look dirty or anything, but they felt off, almost like they didn't quite fit right, like he had put on someone else's outfit. It was a plain gray hoodie and black jeans, but the hoodie sat too tight around the neck, and the sleeves were too short. What caught my attention was the way he moved. He looked stiff, like inhumanly stiff. He was walking as if he didn't have any joints, just like rigid and unnatural. His arms swung straight at his sides, barely swinging, and his feet hit the floor hard with every step. It creeped me out a little, but I ignored it and kept working. A few minutes later, I found my manager, and he told me to restock some things near the back of the store. So I grabbed the cart and headed back, and the man appeared again, same strange walk. He looked like he was searching for something, but had no idea what it was. When he noticed me, he walked over and he asked me where the soda was.
Oh,
His
brother.
haunting voice, cold and flat, like there was no emotion behind it, made me feel uneasy. Up close, his face looked wrong. Not scary, just wrong. His skin was smooth in a way that didn't look natural, almost plastic. His eyes were sunken, but not in a tired way. They just looked hollow, and the weirdest part was how he blinked. It was slow, like someone was acting out what blinking was supposed to look like. I told him what aisle I was in, and then he did something that really freaked me out. He repeated my exact sentence word for word, then said, "Thank you." That might not sound super weird, but in the moment, it felt off. I finished up and went back to my manager. I looked around for the guy, but I couldn't find him anywhere. He must have left. I asked my manager if she had seen him, but she said no. I asked the cashier later, and she said she had noticed his weird walk, but he hadn't bought anything. I went home later and tried to forget about it, but I had trouble sleeping. I kept thinking about his face. It was uncanny, like a copy of a real person, but it just didn't feel right. It's been days, and I still can't get his face out of my head.
Okay, damn.
Jeez.
Damn.
Jeepers.
I will say, that one felt, not that it didn't sound real, it actually did sound like a very true story. Currently, this cassette's 2 for 2, but it somewhat, to me, sounds like a guy that is like addicted to substances or something. Or, if we're leaning into the story, it sounds like a guy that pieced together body parts of another person to make a whole new body type of thing. You know what I mean? Like a Frankenstein's monster type of situation.
See, I was thinking Skinwalker type thing, or just alien.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, I was trying to think of what it could be. In a minute, you said it didn't look natural, almost like plastic. All I could think to myself was, "Is that a Kardashian?"
God damn it, Jared.
I was thinking, it's not real. That man isn't real.
Oh my god, the one on the plane?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's kind of the vibe
Reference
I was
to
getting
meme,
to
Josh?
be perfectly honest. Oh, the one where it's like, the lady on the plane's like, take me off this plane, that man over there, or something like that.
That motherfucker is not real.
That motherfucker is not real. Yeah.
That's what it was. God damn. No, but I will admit, this story, the first one that the cassette played, was very realistic in the sense of like, everything they said felt like an actual human being would do these things and experience this once in a lifetime moment, I guess. This next one that we just listened to, I do think there is not a reality. Yeah, I mean, I guess reality, but there's like a chance, that's the word, where this was a real person and maybe they were just like on substances addicted. But if this is some like Skinwalker type shit, holy shit.
Yeah, man, that's what I was saying.
That's scary.
Spoopy.
The plastic part.
Spoopers.
Because when you guys hear plastic, do you picture their skin is like very smooth and like looks somewhat like shiny, I guess, glossy? Or how do you picture it?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, kind of
same.
glossy, but like stretched out type thing. Stretched out and glossy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd
Makes
be
sense.
Have you guys ever felt like, damn, that person doesn't like seem I mean, I could just not necessarily like human, but you know what I mean. Just like, damn, that motherfucker's not real. You guys ever had those instances? Really?
Oh wait, I was just agreeing with you. Let me think.
I mean, I could just say
sorry,
like one of my
way too sure
bosses, like not bosses, but like boss's boss is like type things, was just very animated and was bald, and I could see, and just always walked around with a smile, like at all times had a smile. I'm like,
Yeah.
you don't seem like the level of energy that you're on constantly all the time, but you know, not that it was uncanny, but it's just like, oh man, you're definitely a character.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But yeah,
I will say, the one thing I can relate to in this story is being in high school and your boss scheduling you certain hours. This guy has a decent boss, manager, for scheduling them out after school. I think I told you guys before, my boss used to sometimes schedule me like school just ended and I'm scheduled for work type of thing. So that part of the story, at least I know, is real for sure.
goddamn.
But otherwise, I don't think I've ever experienced seeing someone and been like, this can't be a real person.
No, yeah, pretty odd. Alrighty, so playing the next one, and before I do.
A few years ago, I lived on the second floor of an old apartment building. One night, I was up late, binge watching a show with the curtains open just a crack. Figured no one could see from that angle. Around 1 a.m., I got this weird feeling like I was being watched. I brushed it off until I caught movement outside from the corner of my eye. I paused the show, and there was a face in the window. A man was standing on the fire escape, staring directly at me. I froze, not knowing what to do. But when I finally stood up, he took off. I called the building manager the next morning, and apparently, someone had been sneaking around the complex for weeks. I hadn't left my curtains open a night since.
Well, that seems like that's the end of the take, because it was only three little stories, but goddamn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Honestly though, this one's like, ooh, for me at least.
I knew this one would get you, dude. That's just that would just give me Jared vibes all over of like, His worst. I mean, obviously, my worst nightmare. Oh my goodness. But for Jared specifically, I just feel like.
Yeah, honestly, it kind of reminds me of when I was like back in college, in my like college dorm or like apartment.
Yeah.
You'd see like people just like walking around, but also just like standing in just random places. Yeah, like dead at night. I'm talking, like around. That time, like midnight to 1 a.m. and you're just like, what the fuck are they doing over there?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I would notice that too around campus when I lived on campus all 3.5 years or so, and minus the COVID run, right? But when I lived on campus, there was a lot of people that would just be outside, just chilling anywhere on campus. There was like curfew to go back home, but people would still just hang out anyways, I'm pretty sure. So that aspect that you said like feels very shared, I guess, between all of us. I guess like just noticing people outside.
A little too close to home.
Yeah. Oh, but dude, this story, all three felt realistic in their own way. The first one felt like very paranormal, but realistic in terms of the setting. The second story that we heard from the cassette felt realistic almost completely, really. Like that felt like the most real. This one is very real as well to me because not that I've ever been through this, and I'm not going to say names, but there's a friend of mine where their partner lives in an apartment in the same complex, I think, or no, a different complex. And sometimes they visit one another and just hang out there. But one time the partner told my friend, hey, I think someone's been like messing around with my apartment because some things feel misplaced when I come back home from work. And then I don't remember anything much about the story afterwards, so if I say something and I'm wrong about this, I'm probably misremembering. But then afterwards my friend told me that his partner went on a trip for work, and while she was gone, he like basically house sat for her, just making sure the house was well kept, nobody was breaking in like she thinks someone might have been. And then one day, I think either he came to there to relax and read, and he heard something, like the window being messed with, and it was always like this one window that was being messed with, or he came home and it was already messed with, and I think it was the first one. I think it was the former with like the window being messed with. So I do think it's actually a lot more, not normal, but a lot more, it happens a lot more than people think, that some people try to break into apartments knowing that someone's at work or knowing that someone's gone somehow, and they like to make home in someone's apartment while they're gone. So with this one, maybe it's like a creature or a homeless guy, for example, right? If we're being realistic here, if we're denouncing the paranormal, but maybe it's someone or something that is looking for a place to enter, and with that guy seeing a person's face, or the storyteller seeing a person's face, that's insanely creepy to me.
Yeah, for me, I think getting a knock at the front door and then there not being anyone there is like pretty freaking creepy for me. I mean, at like not like night, obviously. And then I'd say looking at through like the peephole and then like seeing somebody in like a scary kind of pose, I guess, like looking down, I guess, also again in the middle of the night, would be very, very creepy. But yeah. Well, yeah. How about Desert? Do you guys have any more scary thoughts? You guys had nightmares?
Oh my god, don't even get me started. I had a deja vu moment recently. So yeah, there's like this whole saying with deja vu, I think, where it's like dreams you've had and you just remember it in person or something like that, and that's why you're like, oh, I feel like I've lived through this moment before, because you've more than likely dreamed about it.
Mm-hmm.
But in this instance, I was flying back from Brazil in the Brasilia airport, and how it works is you go from Brasilia to Panama City in Panama to like Austin, for example, is where I was flying. And so I'm in Brasilia and I see, okay, Luis is gonna laugh, but there's an episode of American Dad where they trick the son into thinking that he can control his dreams by sliding a red rubber ball, like a dodgeball kind of thing, across the floor. And so in my head, I always joke about that scene with my girlfriend. And I'm in the airport just like waiting in line for the TSA to open to walk through. And my mom just chilling. I'm with her. And there's a family or two in front of us and then a whole bunch of people in front of us. Some lady's walking by in like a red suit. And like the type of red I'm talking about is like bright red. Like not Stanford red, but like, what's a good red to say? Like red Power Ranger red. You know what I mean? Like the MidFall red. It was like red with a little dark. But I see a lady walking by in a red suit like that, top and bottom with like a white shirt, and it made me think of the rubber ball. And then I just got, not goosebumps, but I got like, oh my God, it is something that I dreamed about to happen. I'm getting major deja vu right now. And so what I thought was going to happen was I was going to hear a random lady screaming her lungs out. Because I think in the dream I had, I was at an airport and there was a random lady just screaming her lungs out. Like, of course, because it's my dream, it felt like she was looking at me while she was screaming. But then in person, when it happened, I was tensed up a little bit, and I told my mom I'm getting major deja vu. So I was expecting the scream, and no scream came out, luckily. But it felt very, like, too close for comfort. Like, it felt like someone was going to scream at that moment. Very realistic to me because of the deja vu, I guess.
Yeah, I get that. The other night, for some reason, I felt like I was dreaming, like I was on a flight, and taking off felt very what's the word, like intense.
Yeah.
And I was like really scared, and yeah, that was pretty much it as far as that for me. But usually it's not hard for me to get like night or dreams that I'm scared of. But yeah. What about you, Drew? Any recently or not?
This was nothing recently. I do remember one time, and I may have told you guys about this one before, but I think it was after work, really late at night. I think I was closing or something, and I was waiting for the train to come through. The train came, go inside one of the cars, and I noticed just like a bunch of blood just like all over the floor of one of the train cars. And I'm just looking at this. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Did someone just get like sliced up or something? Like, no idea. And multiple people would see it, just be totally freaked out, go into like another car, just stay as far away from it as possible.
Damn. Yeah, no, that's creepy.
Nah. I would have heated out of wherever I was if I had seen something like that. Especially in my freaking dream. I would have woken myself up and been like, yeah, I'm going to take a shower. Oh my God. I'll take a shower. No, but for me, sometimes, I don't know if you guys ever get this feeling. Do you sometimes like you know you're asleep after the fact, but while you're asleep and you're dreaming, do you feel like the dreams are a little too realistic for comfort? Like it feels very real to you?
Yeah. For a period of time, I think maybe like a couple of years ago, I was kind of scared to go to sleep because it would feel like I was in there for a couple days. Yeah. Like, time would drag on for a while.
Yeah.
That's about it. I mean, a lot of the times when I take naps now, during the day, I don't know what time it is. Sometimes when I wake up, I'm like, is it 3 in the morning, or is it fucking 10 a.m., or is it like in the afternoon? But yeah, that's also kind of a scary feeling, kind of like waking up and not knowing where you are or like what time it is.
That deep of a sleep too, like it just hits so much that you don't realize the context of what you're doing or where you are really.
Yeah, dude, sometimes it could be like a 20-minute nap and I'm still like, what?
Yep. My girlfriend has that. It's so funny. I've only now just learned how to wake her up without it being like an intense shock type of thing. Because I don't know if this applies to you, Luis, but like, let's say Jackie or someone in your life had to wake you up. If someone wakes you up, do they have to like lightly tap you or like whisper in your ear or anything like that? Or do they just have to shake you awake?
They can, yeah. Yeah, Jackson are pretty good at like just nudging me awake gently. But I mean, even I don't have to have it like that, but I'd be like, obviously I'd prefer it. I'm being like, yo,
Yeah.
it's like, hey, whoa, I was sleeping here.
Yeah. See, in the past, I've woken up people just like tapping them lightly and stuff like that, or like whispering like, hey, wake up. Just thinking that was like the nonchalant / nice way to do it. But then I learned with my girlfriend, because she wakes up just how you described it, where like sometimes she doesn't remember where she is. I like, let's say you're sleeping on your side and I put my hand on your shoulder and I slide it down your arm. Like that type of slow movement that's really delicate but not too shocking to wake up to. Because I feel like sometimes we're in dreams that are just too real.
That's kind of hot.
Oh yeah, Jared, you want me to do that for you when we go to the cabin?
Fuck yeah.
I'll remember that.
I'll normally tell them what time it is. Like if it's been like a while they've been sleeping, like I'll normally tell her like, hey, it's this time.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'll just be like, it's fine. It's
That's
fine.
true.
You don't need to get up. Like it's this time.
Honestly, Josh, the way that you were like describing it sounded, you know, similar to kind of like, you know, how like moms get like woken up,
Oh,
and, like sleep and all that. You know, you just like lightly tap them, like
yes.
gasping all over the place, and you're like, bro, calm down. Jeez.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but I used to wake people up like how I described it the original way, and they would gasp a little bit, and I was like, what the, like I just tapped you like very lightly. How am I like shocking you to wake, you know? But I guess for some people, they're either super deep in sleep, so that's when it's easier. When they're in light state of sleep, it scares them.
That does make sense. That does make sense.
Yeah.
That explains a lot.
Well, alrighty, boys. That's what I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed the tape that I ordered. Hope we don't have any more. Hope we don't have consistent memories from now on.
Yeah, I will say, next time we do an IRL podcast, we have to burn that tape. Like we're going to take it, put it back in the saran wrap, and burn it in holy water too. Make sure the holy water is flammable.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I guess it'd be like a oil fire. Is that what it is? Where water doesn't fix it.
That could work.
Yeah, do one of those.
We'll bury it.
Water doesn't stop the flame. Yeah. Put it back in that grave site, not strike, from story 1.
Cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and look out for Mr. Yosh's episode next. And that's pretty much it. That was episode 17 of the MidFall Podcast. Kind of stay on the lookout for if and when I release music again, but just go ahead and check out No Light Follows. That's pretty much it. Thank you guys. See ya.
Goodbye.
Bye.